Welcome to CAS 133, Columbia Gorge Community College, the Dalles, Oregon, Mrs. Hughitt instructor. In this video, we're going to talk about the final project. Now, you can use two different programs to create the final project. You can do a PowerPoint, and so we're going to start out talking about the PowerPoint final project. The first thing is your name needs to go on the title slide. That's kind of a biggie. It's also due during finals week, so it cannot be done any later than what is posted in Moodle. It's usually that final Saturday of the term. Could be a little earlier depending on the particular term, but it does need to be turned in on time. If you do not turn in a final project, if you are an A student looking at an A coming up before finals week, and you do not turn in a final project, the highest you can possibly get will be a C. So it's very important that these are done and done on time. There are some things you must have in your final project to even get a C on it. You must complete it on time and upload it on time. If your project's not done, like I said, the highest you'll get is a C. Also, it's worth 100 points. That's like 5 of your other assignments, so it's a very high point weight, and so again, it's going to hurt there as well. If you want to do sound or music with PowerPoint, most likely it's not going to work and upload correctly. It's a PowerPoint thing. It tends to be a little cranky, and often I won't even know it's there. If you want to include music, if that's what's going to make or break your project, then you may want to look at Photo Story, which we'll talk about in a second video. That keeps these a little shorter. Think about the way you can use a PowerPoint or a Photo Story, and then we'll go over the PowerPoint now, and I'll go over the Photo Story in the second video. If you're going to use a presentation you've just recently created for another class, that's fine, as long as it's been done after we did the chapters in PowerPoint, and as long as it's been done within the last few weeks. Something done last term or 3 months ago when the term was starting is not acceptable. Also, anything that's done as a team is not acceptable, because how do I know what you actually did and knew and completed? So please make sure it's something that you actually create. So that means that if you need to do a PowerPoint for your speech class that you're doing this term, or for your psych class or whatever, and you would like to go ahead and create a PowerPoint there and use it for this, that's fine, as long as it meets all my criteria for the technology part. You'll have to meet their criteria for the psych part or the speech part. Also, you need to make sure that the body of the PowerPoint has 6 slides or more. That means you also need a title slide and an ending slide. So that means the very minimum I should ever see is an 8-slide PowerPoint, and that's for a C. If you meet that minimum of 8 with good quality, well done, you will get a C. From there, if you would rather have an A or a B, then you need to do more than 8, and you need to add some bells and whistles. If you want that A, you're going for that wow factor. I want to be able to look at that and go, wow, this student knows what they're doing. They have learned a lot with PowerPoint or Photo Story, and they're willing to step out and prove that. Not only that, I will tell you right now, if you're debating between PowerPoint and Photo Story, it's easier to get a better grade in Photo Story than it is in PowerPoint. In the sense that, one, Photo Story comes a little bit with its own wow factor. But the other piece is, I recognize you were willing to step out on a program that we had not tried in class and had not used in class, and you were willing to give it a go and willing to learn something new. And that's what we're here for. We're for learning. So I always kind of look at that as a favorable thing. So if you're debating a little bit, you may want to think about that. Think about making a presentation you can really use. Make something for school or for work, for family. Somebody's 50th anniversary coming up, great. Just remember that when I'm viewing it, and when lots of others might be viewing it, we may not know who the people are. So make sure you're labeling or saying some way who's who. You know those are your kids. I don't know that those are your kids. So you need to put names on them and identifiers on photos so that people know what they are and who they are. Sources need to be cited. This is a big pet peeve of mine, that people take things from places and don't cite sources. Not only is it breaking the law on copyright, it's stealing. If you had created a picture or you had done something and put it on the internet and somebody just took it, that's stealing from you because they didn't give you credit. Now, when you use Google for searching, so you've brought up your search engine and you've typed something in Google, and maybe you've even used Google Images and you've typed in and this cool picture showed up, that is not the source. Google Image is not your source. That is simply how you searched for the picture. That would be like saying you used the library as a source. The library is not your source. It's how you searched for the book you were looking for. The card catalog, not your source. The source needs to be the exact www dot whatever the name of that site is that you got it from. Now, when you search Google Images, the picture comes up. If you click on the picture, it will take you to the website. Therefore, you can get that www to use. If you just tell me you use Google Images or you use Google Search or you used MSN.com or Bing or whatever, and that's your sources, that's not acceptable at any level. I mean, from the very first age you're learning to cite sources way back when, clear on, it's not acceptable. And yes, I will drop your grade tremendously for that type of sourcing. So make sure you tell me exactly where you got it. And also, if the artist or the photographer is given credit with the picture, include his or her name, www. Picture by James Smith. That's a great thing to do, so you're actually giving true credit. Also, pictures must have credit on the page that they are on, whether that's in Word, it's on the page, usually right under its good place, or on PowerPoint. No, putting it down in the notes section isn't good enough. It needs to be on the page so your viewers see it. It doesn't have to be big, but it has to be on the page. And it should be a live link so they could actually click it and go find the page. Any information you get, like you researched it, you were doing a project on elephants, and we all know just a ton about elephants right off the top of our head. Probably not. So you had to go research it. And you've got the pictures, you've cited the sources on the page. At the end, you need to cite the research sources. Like, I got this information about how old elephants live on this site. That needs to go in a sources slide at the end. You learned how to write a sources slide when we did Word, so you can at least replicate that closely with the hanging indents and some of those types of things so that you have a sources slide at the end. So pictures on the slide, sources at the end. We'll talk about how you source in Photo Story in the Photo Story video, because there is a slight difference there because of technical limitations. Some other things you can try in PowerPoint: you can add footers and headers, hyperlink, or insert an object. You can do pictures and clip art. You should have at least one picture. That would be pretty typical, so I would sort of expect that. You can do backgrounds. You can use a design template. You can search for a template. You can use one that they have. You can do the gradient colorings. You can use a picture for a background like we did in PowerPoint 2, and you can watermark it. You can use an animation scheme or add custom animations to it. You can do slide transitions between it. Obviously, you're going to want to put a title slide with your name on it and the name of the PowerPoint presentation, like elephants, and an appropriate closing slide. Some other things are like quick style, word art, clip art, pictures, shapes, shape effects, design colors, fonts, effects, tables, charts, and drawings. You can add paint pictures. You can take a photograph of a drawing or a picture that you draw or somebody else has drawn and include that if it goes with the topic. You can link to a web page, and this PowerPoint will be in Moodle, so you can go back and look at the details with it as well. But basically, you find the web page, you click on the address, which will highlight it. I suggest a Control-C and copy, or click on it, right-click on it and copy. Paste it into the PowerPoint slide like this one has been pasted here, and then to get it to look like this so it's a live link, you have to actually hit the space bar at the end that creates that hyperlink to it. And it will allow you to then have that. Now, if you wanted to do that and you didn't want the like this big long mess, CGCC, Moodle, da-da-da, you could put a word in. You can highlight the word, go to Insert, go to Hyperlink, put it in there, and it would make the, like, click here words become a live hyperlink. That's another way to do it. You can put objects in, like I said, browse for picture. I do suggest you avoid movies or videos and sounds when using PowerPoint for a couple of reasons. One, they can get so large that you can't get your PowerPoint uploaded because you will have to be at 100 megabytes. And the other thing is, a lot of those things don't stay put. Things that we've talked about before do, but videos, sounds, music tend to not stay real well. Now, if you're one of those gluttons for punishment and say, oh no, I can make it work, then we'll talk a little bit about what you'll have to do to make that happen. So finish up your shows, make sure you've gone through and checked it all, run your animations, run your transitions, make sure everything works exactly like you want it. If you want to click mouse timings, you know, and actually time it, you can do that. The one danger is this: if you time it too fast and I can't read the slide, I'm going to count down on that. And if you time it too slow and I'm like, maybe I better go get a soda while I'm waiting for the next slide, that's not going to work either. So be real reasonable on your timings. Maybe have somebody that doesn't know your PowerPoint and doesn't know what you've got written there check your timings and read through it, because if they're going, whoa, I missed that slide, whoa, what was that? Then you know you were too fast. And if they're going, I'm getting bored, do it quicker, you'll know to fix it. Now, if you are not a glutton for punishment and you really want to just kind of keep it nice, kind of fancy, but not really go over the top, then you will not need to deal with this. If you're one of the ones that's like, oh yeah, I want to go for it, then you are going to be putting videos in, you're going to be putting in music, you're going to be putting in sounds you download off the internet, and the chances are I won't get them. So what you're going to need to do is zip that file. So you're going to have to put your PowerPoint in a folder when you make it. Everything you download or going to insert has to go in that same folder. And then when it's in the folder, you insert it into the PowerPoint. Make that link, hyperlink, and then save it, and then zip the folder and upload the zip folder to Moodle. Now, there are going to be 2 or 3 of you that are not listening carefully, and you're going to zip one lonely little PowerPoint to me. And that tells me you were not listening carefully. If you are just doing a basic PowerPoint, kind of like we did in the book, but you're adding pictures and you're adding clip art, you're doing animations, and everything you're doing is right there in PowerPoint. Pictures are no big deal. Don't worry about pictures. They insert easy in PowerPoint. PowerPoint grabs them and keeps them. Then don't zip the folder. I'll grade down for zipped folders that shouldn't be zipped. Just upload the PowerPoint. The only people that will zip a folder are people that have, like, oh, I've got the Christmas video, and oh, I had to add the Easter egg hunt video, and oh, I just had to have this song. It's so perfect for my PowerPoint. I can't do without it. And I need to have the glass breaking sound 4 times. Really? Seriously? I hope not. So whatever it is, they've already got all that downloaded in a folder with their PowerPoint, and then they have to zip. So please make sure you're not zipping when you don't need to. Now, if you're thinking about extra credit, if you did 2 of the book projects, so you had the potential of earning up to 40 points there, if you earned all 40 of that, you're done. If you earn maybe 20 of it and you'd like the other 20 because you really need it, you can do an extra credit PowerPoint. Heck, if you've earned 15, you can do an extra credit PowerPoint. Or 35, you can do an extra credit PowerPoint. Or if you've earned 0 and you'd like all 40, you can earn it. Just know that you won't go above that 40 earned maximum. And if you've done 2 book ones and you've got your 35 to 40 points, you're not going to gain a whole lot by doing it, somewhere between 5 and 0 points. So you can do an extra credit PowerPoint or an extra credit PowerPoint or an extra credit photo story following exactly the same guidelines. Now some people say, well, if I made a PowerPoint and I made it really fancy and really cool, but I took all those slides and converted them to JPEGs and put them into my photo story, could I do that for the second one? And the answer is yes, because those really become 2 different presentations. They are different. One is a PowerPoint that's going to be click, click, click. Photo story is going to move along as a video. It's going to go slide to slide. It's going to have different types of animations in it. Hopefully you'll get a microphone and do some narration of it. If you're really self-conscious on a microphone, have somebody else help narrate it. Really cool. I wish I had a photo story or anything that recorded of my parents' voices. Don't have the option anymore. They're both gone. But, you know, when I think back on that, wouldn't that have been a cool thing to do? Your kids' voices, when they're little, have them narrate the Christmas video or vacation video or whatever. Just make sure you get good quality sound. Kids can get a little bit too close to a microphone or not close enough, so you're going to have to really check your audio working with kids. But it can be done, especially if you have a decent microphone. So some things to think about for doing that, so that you do in fact have that narration going on. Then you're going to need, if you have background music, you're going to need to check that it's background music and not like blaring over the top music. Photo story puts it in loud enough, you'll want to back it down a little bit, but we'll talk more about those details in the photo story PowerPoint. So basically extra credit is simply do another one. You can do 2 PowerPoints, you can do 2 photo stories, or you can do 1 of each. Pretty much your choice. Just make sure that when you're done with it and you've created it, you're going to have it be a WMV file, which is a WAV file. That's what it fixes as the final. And again, we'll mention that more in the other PowerPoint. If you have questions, be sure to ask. No, you don't have to get your project approved to me. No, there are really no limitations on the topic, as long as there's something that you would be comfortable presenting in a classroom type setting that would be appropriate. Obviously, there are some things that would not be appropriate for showing to someone else, and I'm the someone else, so just keep that in mind. But other than that, it's pretty much open game on topic. People always email and say, well, can I do this or can I do this? Yes, you can do that. I don't know I've ever told anybody no. I had a gentleman that asked me, he had a son that had passed away, and he said, can I make a PowerPoint about my son who's passed away? And I said, if you're comfortable doing it, that's fine. It's kind of your choice. So within normal reasons of, you know, this is for college, yada, yada. Other than that little disclaimer, your choice. Have fun with these. These are basically creative projects. They are not textbook step by step. Remember, your title page does need your name on it. Hope this helps. Please listen to the photo story as well so that you know what your options are.